Peg City Soundoff. It's a Sunday night. What day is it? It's the 18th, May 18th. We got a good episode tonight. Not that there's ever any bad ones, but tonight, as you see behind me, Studio 23 presenting every episode for May. Now, a person who's familiar with Studio 23 is my guest tonight, and I think Matt, this may be your fifth time, fourth, or fifth. I don't know.
Well, yeah, let's count it. So, go ahead.
I was going to say you're eligible for your green jacket now.
We got the membership. It's like a filthy few patch. But yeah, like I'm saying, so I'm in my cabin right now. Number one, we're talking collab season tonight. We'll get into that. This is the mic that I always use to record. You might see that in the video. And also, when I was on the Boneyard the first couple of times, I was shooting it from here. Ashley Arsonist on the fly. So those were the first two. And then I think the next time that I was on, maybe I was on Boneyard another time with that, or maybe I was just on. Hello, Thomas. Okay, Thomas is right there. And then, whatchamacallit, I think the first time that I was on the Soundoff technically was at the end of December. That was the infamous waffle episode when I told the waffle story, that famous clip. And so, and where I'm going, there's continental breakfast, and I can actually do that legitimately this time. But we'll get into that too. And then I was on Soundoff a little while ago with the Arsonists, and then I'm on again. So yeah, this might be fifth time, maybe sixth time, fifth for sure. So
yeah,
I think I've earned my gold plaque.
Exactly. So Matt, you're on tonight. Obviously a man who really needs no introduction, especially on here. But tonight we are doing something a little bit different. We're not necessarily talking about bands. We're kind of jumping right into collab season. An awesome thing that's been going on now. This goes on from before I get involved with doing the podcast and everything, and we thought it'd be a great idea for you to come on and talk about it because it's such a cool thing. You've got a lot of people involved. You've gone international.
Yeah, well, so United States, Canada, Colombia, and Spain thus far.
So unbelievable. So we're here tonight. We're going to talk collab season. Exactly, right? And we're going to talk collab season and talk about. I kind of want to start you off where we should start off, and how it started off the collab season. How did you get going with this?
Okay, first of all, hello, Jen's in the building. I knew she was going to pull up. I see Ruth is in there too. They're pulling up. We're waiting for the West Virginians to come in here, but the Canadians are right there. How do I pick who plays? What for like the collabo season, the series?
Yeah.
Just give a recommendation and we'll see what we can do. So anyway, the origin story essentially. Let's take it back. Okay, collab season been outstanding. Monkey Business blew me away. I swear I'll get to it, but everyone's just chiming in right now. So the origin story, a story that we're all familiar with. I just heard myself bleed through the microphone. 2020, 5 years ago. March going onward, we're all locked into our houses, pretty much. Nothing to do. And I was hearing many people, and I'm just envisioning it again. I was hearing many people, musicians that were very active in the 2010s locally, just hearing from them again, seeing them again. Oh, I haven't picked up the guitar in months. I haven't picked up the drums in months. Bands are quitting. All kinds of stuff is happening. It's chaos, turmoil, not even in Winnipeg, but just all over the world. So I'm looking at this like, okay, I had a band at the time, Twang Bomb. Actually, I was already in Ash and the Arsonist by this point. I had just joined in 2019. So at the same time, like, oh, Rusty's here. Okay, you got the link. But essentially, I'm just trying to recollect. Hey, could you turn the TV down just a little bit? It's sort of distracting me, if you don't mind. Thank you. Sorry, this is ADHD in action right here. So I'm trying to tell this story. But 2020. While all this is going on, I was never much of an internet guy. I started doing music reviews as soon as I got out of college and all this stuff. And I did this for a couple of years. I had a website, I did music reviews, and I made more of a social media presence for myself on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just to get into that. And then one day on Instagram, I see that there's this little Pearl drummers competition. Like, okay, bet you can't play this drum, do all this and all that stuff. And there's the first West Virginian. Brandon Howell is in the building. Stick around. We're going to talk more about him. So we'll get to that in a bit because he's definitely a huge integral part of the story. Um, essentially, I get to doing all this stuff, the little Pearl drummer competition, all this stuff. And then I get to thinking like, okay, maybe I can keep doing this because people are saying this is cool. So I just keep doing little clips and drum covers for just little snippets of songs just for internet content, not like full covers, but I do like 5 of these a week. And I just dropped them on Thursdays. It was just the day that I picked. And and that was just the activity was building myself up just doing this short little music content online essentially in 2020 just as a means to pass the time because either I could sink or I can swim. And there's my other whippet right there. So either I could sink or I could swim. And the first actual attempt of a collab came around this time. It was myself and the rest of the Ashley arsonists at the time, minus Taylor. It was Ash and Curry, and I was supposed to be Air Marshal Clark. For anyone who knows about him, we were going to do This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race by Fall Out Boy. But the thing is, I had Aaron on board because another thing he was doing was like Living Music Winnipeg, all these live streams at this time. I would come on and just do my little drum thing, maybe guitar singing, whatever I was going to do. That's what I did back then. But I had him on board initially, and then he was like, you know what? I'd love to do this, but like I'm a Christian. I can't sing these lyrics. So best of luck to that because the lyrics are, this ain't a scene, it's a goddamn arms race. Didn't want to use the Lord's name in vain. So that got shelved. I might have that on my computer somewhere else. All the most love to Aaron, though. He's been a great supporter. So I put that off to the side. And then in between then, well, eventually, let's go forward and then we'll go backward a little bit. 2021, I link up with Dale from Ex Omerta. I'm saying I want to do a little cover, come up with something. He says, I could get Evan Chandler to do this. I had never met Evan a day in my life, never heard of Northern Royals. Dale was not in Northern Royals by this point either. He was just an EXO. So I essentially, we get together and we do the very first collab season episode. It was released March 12th of 2021. It was Crawling by Linkin Park. That was the first one. And then I didn't have my E8010 apparatus. It wasn't too fancy what I was doing back then, but it was something. It sufficed. And then we did a few more. Metal Dilemma by Devin Townsend. Not these guys, but like other guys. This is Rick Chappell from Abbotsford, British Columbia. He did this. And then we also had Be My Fire by the Bluestones, Ashley Arsonist. Well, not even Ashley Arsonist. Roddy's in the building. Yes, sir. I knew he was going to be here. So it was the cover band I was in at the time, Boisterous, was Ash and Nathan Keeler and Taylor. So we did that with Nathan Keeler at that time. And I got to get him on board for something else. So we did that, a few others. And then eventually, and this ties into, the Bush concert we were at, right? Mm-hmm. So the concert, well, not the concert, the collab that really just started the momentum going and got me recognized, I think, was Hey Man, Nice Shot, Filter. That came in July of 2021. That was once again, we got Dale and Evan doing that. And we got Adam Hallstrom from Plain as Ghost, formerly. Holly's here too. The whole gang's pulling up. And so we did that one. So yeah, he was formerly Plain as Ghost. He him as Pollution Lake these days. He does graphics, all kind of things. And that was the one that, and I remember staying up with like a 4 liter of iced tea and just pulling an all-nighter, just editing it, just ready to get it ready, just trying to get it ready and good to go. I would just go straight editing. I wouldn't take breaks for days initially when I first started doing this. But that was the one that really put it on the map, and we just went from there. Now, let's rewind a little bit. As I said, I was doing these little drum snippet, whatever it is, like short content, and I also started doing live streams just off of Instagram. And then eventually I used to do it actually just off a live stream like I did here. I had it going on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I even had it on LinkedIn. Nobody was watching on LinkedIn. I just had it because I had it. But anyway, so that was happening. And along the way, I posted a clip of myself dinking around on the guitar with a talk box. Deidre's in the building too. She's going to be on an episode pretty soon. We were talking. Deidre Suburban Funk Machine. Go check her out. It was a clip of me doing Ted Nugent Stranglehold with the fucking talk box in my mouth, and then I tagged what happened to be Brandon's account or one of his burner account on there. Said that's cool, and then we just got to communicating from that point, and just like, okay, the music, yeah, the music stuff's cool. And he came on my live stream a couple of times, play guitar. I mean, it was kind of difficult to do it because we were just doing it on an Instagram live, and there's such lag that it just sounds like a mess. But we're still trying to put it together. So then over the summer, we get to talking some more of 2021. Hey, maybe we should do this one. Maybe we should do that one. And then Brandon and I finally got around to working, circling back to the news. We did Free for All. Then we did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. We did a whole bunch of Pat Travers, Snorting Whiskey. We were just going through all the classics. And what we found ultimately was that we really meshed in that, just not even musically, but just in terms of the mentality that we had. We were both on the same page of just like, put the ego to the side, keep it humble, and then just really dedicate ourselves with no BS, really just trying to get down and replicate the songs to the most finite detail as we can. Now, if it's, you can't go like 100%, but you got to be like right in the ballpark. At some point, you can't just perfect yourself to death. You got to get right to it. But, or, you know, you got to get right to it. You got to get in the ballpark of just like, you understand what I'm saying. I'm rambling a little bit.
I get it.
You just have to get to a point where it's acceptable. But you have to cut yourself off and just have it. And God damn it, we certainly made that work. We've certainly done that. And, you know, that's what's up. And we've taken it to the moon from there, and we've accumulated quite a buzz, not even in Winnipeg, but also in West Virginia. And we'll talk about that some more. That's essentially how it started, more or less.
So how many episodes are you at now?
76.
76. My goodness. Killing it.
Well, like 2021 was a little sparse. I mean, it was only doing that like once a month, twice a month, whatever it was. 2022 was nuts. Yes, that's right. The rest is collab season history. You got that right from Mr. Brandon Howell right there from New Martinsville, West Virginia. So 2022, because that was the year that we were still in COVID initially and then started coming out of it, but there wasn't much really going on with my bands at that time. So that was just my dedication. Like I would have stretches where I would go on for almost like 2 months, just collab after collab every week, just nonstop editing this stuff. I didn't have a job from like 2018 to 2024. So basically this is just what I was doing, you know, and just part of a COVID activity. 2023 was a little more reasonable. And then because then that's the year that, okay, my old band broke up, and then with Contender and the video and the Loud Awards, and then Joe joined. That's when Ashley Arsonist really started taking off, and COVID was a thing of the past. So it started graduating to that and becoming a little more balanced. Then when we get to 2024, last year, it's Arsonist 2024 all over the place. We got the Bleed video. We got all this stuff happening, festivals galore. And I just, at the beginning of it, I just felt like I was just kind of a little bit burnout. Like I got to go find a job now. I got to take care of some money issues, number one. The other thing being like, I just don't have the motivation to do this at the moment. I'm going to need to take a break. But then I came back to it after like half a year, 5-6 months or something like that. And, you know, just a necessary reset that you're going to need every once in a while. Ronnie's in the chat. He can attest to that. You know, he was just recently on a little break, and I've just sort of sprung him out of it to an extent with a recent collab that we did. And, you know, that's why you didn't really see a whole lot of episodes last year. And that's why this year, now that I got a little bit more time and some things have been moved around, that I'm going so hard and dropping them like every 2 weeks right now. I'm just really trying to put out the best product that I can.
Oh, for sure, right? Yeah, you've had some great ones lately. You know, the one you just did, the Monkey Business one, that was great with Kevin Hogg there.
Most certainly. And when he's already got the bug. He wants to do more. That's another guy who's definitely on the same page as us of really getting the details down. Because you'll ask him like, oh yeah, it's going to be this week, going to be this week, going to be this week. It's not like he's slacking off. It's a little like, damn, when is this guy going to finish? But it's part that he's busy out there in California chasing the dream. But the other part is he's seriously, like he really wants to have it right. He really wants to get the
Yeah.
details right because like he was trying to secure an audition for Skid Row, doing that. That was his idea to do that one. And
Hmm.
I'll tell you a couple more things there, just on this most recent one, right? So like normally we sometimes Brandon when it's just him and I, product is on point. Yes, indeed. Thank you. When it's just Brandon and I, he'll go and record his tracks first over the original track, just to capture like the original essence and the groove and what have you, instead of just sort of quantizing it too much to a click and just sterilizing the feel of it. But that can create sort of a difficulty when you get a guy like Kevin or somebody else, and that's why we do this with other guests and what have you, that is just more used to. Evan Chandler, what's up in the building? Yeah, we were just talking about the Hey Man, nice shot and all that stuff earlier. The Skid Row sounds so perfect, that would be unreal. Yes, absolutely. Desmond, hello. I think that's somebody from West Virginia. I'm not totally sure. Feel free to identify
No,
yourself.
that's my father.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. That's a Canadian. All right. We got that out the way. So yeah, basically, when you get somebody that's a little more used to just doing it to a click, filter, yes, indeed. When you get somebody that's a little more used to just recording it to a click and doing it standard, that can lead to them when they get the bed track in the DAW, they'll be tearing their hair out like Kevin was when we did Rock Me, just trying to figure that out. It's like, what the fuck, guys? What's going on right here, right? So, but just to accommodate him, when we did, first of all, the next one that we did after that was All She Wrote by Filter, which still has the record for most views and likes, I think, on Facebook for an episode. That's up to like 7K. And then we just did Monkey Business this time. That went through the roof. And that one got the accolades of Bill Leverty and CJ Snare, God rest his soul. CJ messaged Brandon, and I have the screenshots personally to let him know it was like 99% on like one small little detail. But everything else was on point. Bill Leverty, same thing. Set it in a Facebook group, and I just patched him over there. But anyway, we get to the Monkey Business one. Yep. Phil. No. Brandon. I was talking about Filter because we did a Hey Man, nice shot cover way back before we even started doing it. I know it was Firehouse. I got the right F band, believe me. So when we get to this one, when we get to doing this current one, he was trying to do it to the click. Kevin was trying to do it to the click with the thing. He's like, you know what? Screw it. I really want to get the feel for it. I got some good rhythm. I really want to get the feel for it. Screw the click. I'm just going to go ahead and just just record it straight to the beat, to the essence. And that's what he did to really get it on point. When we did Firehouse, when we did the Firehouse one, see, I got the band right. When we did that Firehouse one before, Kevin came to Winnipeg on a visit. That summer, we actually played a gig together at the Birchwood Motor Hotel, which this plays a part in this verse. But he tried to come over to record to my house to record his vocals. With the way it was, again, not line up to the click at 50 minutes, like, okay, maybe this isn't going to work. I was sick that day too, so that wasn't the worst thing. So he just goes home, locks himself in the closet for hours and hours and hours on days in valuable vacation time when he didn't have to, trying to get this right, driving everyone else to the house nuts. Boom, there's your take. And then we go, like I said, him and Jay and I and Michael Polanski, I think was the other guy there. Hot damn, they keep getting better and better. And we need to get you back on for sure. I know you said that before. We're going to make sure of that. But, basically, we go and play this gig because I still haven't got the video from him yet. I wake up in the morning, just hungover, probably like a lot of other people, just sitting out there in the bush thinking like, what the hell am I going to do? I'm waiting for this guy to wake up. And then I just message him. I'm sitting in my room for like 4 or 5 hours. Finally around noon. Oh shit, man, I just woke up. Okay, I'll come into the room. He comes into my hotel room, full hair metal gear, puts his Bluetooth speaker on the table against this white wall next to my bed. And then we shoot the video of him just lip syncing it. And in a mad rush, like right after that, and then we shoot a little skit outside that didn't get used. And then, okay, boom, finally got that done. And so by that point, the maid is telling me, like, you're 2-3 hours late from checkout. Well, you need to get the hell out of here. So I'm just like, okay, boom, okay, I'll just pack my stuff up. I'm gonna do what I can. I'll get just. And he's already on the way to the next gig. I had to go into the city for another gig. Oh, the Magnum TA code, that meme. Anyway, so basically, so he's already preparing to go to the next gig, which I wasn't necessarily a part of. I was only on for one because I had to go play with On the Fly in a couple of days and go practice with Jamie. So essentially, I go throw my key in to the front desk, and I'm sitting up in the bar with the laptop like this, just punching his parts in. Well, he's just getting all his stuff out of the venue or the hall or whatever. He's checking in like, well, how's it coming along? Da, 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 da. Okay, and then he goes. Finally, I get the stuff. Like the whole clip, the whole video prepared. It's finally ready. And then I swear to God, man, I just pressed a button. Press some button. I don't know what I pressed. And for a second, for a few minutes, like the whole like timeline on the project, everything just disappeared. And I thought I had deleted everything. No. I was almost like trying to hyperventilate and just flipping out. I don't know what Waffles got to do with it, but we I don't know. We'll get to it. But anyway, you just got to bring that up no matter what. But first I was Bubbles, now I'm Waffles. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so here's the thing, right? The story's never going to live itself down. But I eventually then I click something again. Went, oh fuck! Okay, it's here. So I'm just in a mad scramble after that. I've been sitting here for like 2-3 hours just editing this stuff already. Waffle Bandit, yes indeed. And then okay, upload to Facebook. Boom! I'm not even asking anybody, is the video okay? I'm just putting it up to Facebook. Boom! Instagram. Boom! Okay, let me get the hell out of here. I got to go to Manoa and go jam with Jamie. And just it started just taking off after that. And I joined like every hair metal group on Facebook to share it in, and just like put it all over the place, and it worked its way up to 7K, man. And it's a classic to this day. The rest is history. But yeah, point being, I mean, Kevin's another one who's on the wavelength with us, and he's already discussed like he wants to do more, and we're definitely going to have him do more.
Yeah, for sure, right? Awesome. Yeah. So we talked about the last one with Kevin there, and then one that really got me because it's not the style of music I'm into.
I know where we're going,
but the performance was unfriggin' believable with Irvin Miller and your cast of ladies on there doing Signed Seal Delivered by Stevie Wonder. An unbelievable showing, and my personal introduction to Irvin, who I've become a fan of since.
Of course, and he was on here, and he gave me my flowers, and I will gladly give his back. I'll speak to that in just a second. I see Ruth saying Separate Ways Ever Under Fire cover. You know, it's funny, and maybe it's because you were in these meetings at Caleb's house when we were saying that. He was suggesting, yeah, we should do a collab season episode. Caleb was saying this from Nostodius. He was saying maybe we should do a collab season episode of either the Separate Ways Ever Under Fire or Washed by Lacuna Coil. It's one of those two, and I still got to get Caleb on there. By the way, May 31st, Park Theater, Nostodius, Ash of the Arsonist. Who else? Yes, you got the shirt on. I like it. I was wearing it yesterday. Indigo and On Silence. Get your tickets now. I still got a bunch to get rid of and little time to get rid of it. So, yeah, $15 a pop. Definitely come check that out. But back to what I was saying. So, yes, I will say one thing.
Urban.
See this? Yes, Urban Miller. Where do I begin with this one? So, I had seen him. The funny thing was, Jen's in the chat. She can attest this. She had seen him. Now, he hasn't been there that long. You already know that. He's from the East Coast. He's only been here for like just under a year. I didn't know this initially. But a little while ago, maybe like December, January, something like this, Jen started dragging me out to Times Change on Sundays. And she's saying, well, you got to come see this. This is one guy who's just incredible blues player and all this stuff. She sent me a clip of what happened to be Urban. I didn't know this was the guy's name or any of that stuff. She sent me the clips. You got to come see this, right? So eventually, and Evan was there. You remember this. So I went to the Osborne Tap House, I think at the end of January, early February. And then I ended up seeing a band called Wheel Horse. Kingsway was playing that night, and I believe Silas Presley, who you'll probably see him soon because Brandon's been talking to him about just guitar gear and collab season stuff or whatever. And I saw Wheel Horse, packed house, and I was like, hold the fuck up, man. Well, this is something else. This kid's something else right here. That's a reaction of a lot of people. I was debating, like, you know what? I was going to try to contact him or find him on social media after. I'm like, no, I'm going to go talk to him right after this and just give him the pitch. Soon as he gets off stage, I'm like, hey man, let me come talk to you for a minute. And then I just give him the whole spiel of, okay, I do this thing, collab season, I'm a local drummer. Okay, yeah, just contact the band on Instagram, contact me, let's see what we can do. So I do that. I find his account, I find the band's account. It was somebody else on there, but I talked to him specifically, and we get to talking. I gave him a couple of recommendations. The couple of them, one of them was, I remember specifically, one or two of them, I think they were both Dirty Honey songs. And California Dreamin', which is the first song that we ever did with Kevin, and actually the one of the first songs to date that I actually showed to the original artist when they came through Winnipeg. That's another story. But I recommended him a couple of those songs because I thought he had a bit of a sonic resemblance to Mark LaBelle, the singer of Dirty Honey. And he tells me, okay, you know what, that's cool, but my style is more like that old 50s, 60s, like old Motown, soul, funk, R&B, all that type of stuff. I'm like, okay, say less. Because all that allows me to do, I'm not going to complain if you say, okay, you would rather do this. Because if you're telling me, okay, this is more my lane over here, that just enables me to try my hand at something that I haven't tried my hand at. It just expand into another genre of music and see what I can do. The other thing being, my cousin and I, we grew up in the jazz scene together. Well, not necessarily grew up. We spent a lot of our teenage years in that. He went through the jazz program, Connor Derraugh. And so I had been trying to get him on a collab episode for a long time, but either he was busy or it just wasn't his thing. But I knew Stevie Wonder, that one would do it. So I'm like, okay, we went through a few possible options. We were going to do Sir Duke, and he was like, you know what? That might be a little hard for the horn section. They might be scared of that. I'm okay. Well, let's do Science to Deliver. Boom. So I go listen to that. The first person I talk to is Connor. Do you want to be involved in this? Absolutely. Sure. And then I'm going to need your recommendations about who else we can get. So I go do my drums first. Heard a clip of Miller. Thought he was a soul brother from Motown. I'm sure a few of us did. If you heard him talk, he's jiving to me. You probably think the same thing. But I digress. So I go ahead and cut the drums. And at the time, I was doing some old click tracks for another project that I'm involved in. I can't talk much about. At Brett Hesford's house. Brett Hesford used to be in Show Pony. Everyone knows who he is. And I said, this snare might be good for something I'm doing. Can I borrow your snare just for like a week, a few days? Boom. I took the snare because it was more of a Motown type of thing. It sounded more like that original vintage sound. And with the EAD presets, like the electronic presets that I got hooked up to my kit, which I record the microphone with, I just put it like some old calf head vintage setting and just go to town. Add the tambourine on top of that, just like the record. And then after that, I just take it over to Connor's house and we get keys laid down first. And we get the sax, the alto sax and the tenor sax. And if certain parts you hear like a lower sax layer, fun fact, a lower sax layer, the tenor couldn't go that low. So I just copied the tenor layer. It would be a bari sax layer. I wasn't trying to do all that. So I copied the tenor layer and just pitched it an octave down. And that's actually what that is. And so from there, I'm like, okay, well, who else can we get here? Who else can we get that would potentially be potentially good for this? I asked Connor this over at his house because we got you, we got Irvin. And he said, well, okay, you might want to try Jordy Ulay, who was just recently at the Top House with Irvin. And that's for trumpet. As far as like the rhythm section, try Aaron Shore and Julian Bradford. If you're in the jazz scene, you know who those people are. Aaron Shore lives in Calgary right now. I contacted the both of them. Couldn't do it. They were busy. Well, I told this to Irvin. I said, you got any more recommendations? Maybe one of your wheel horse guys, like Cody or something. He said, you know what? I'll handle it. So I can do that. And then I was trying a couple other people for the vocals. And I said I already had Anna in mind because Anna Rimple, and you noted this out, that you were excited based on Anna Rimple being involved. She had already been on a collab season with Callum on Canary in a Coal Mine by the Police. That was
Mm-hmm.
like just a couple episodes. That was back in 2023. So I got her on board because she was a student of the jazz program, just like Connor, just like maybe like one other person on there. I can't remember. There's a couple of jazz students on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had her on board, and my cousin's girlfriend, Helen Gebra, I brought her on board because that's just like a no-brainer. She sings, boom, I'll bring her on board. Okay, who can I get for a third one? Because if you look at the live footage, it's always three background singers. There's three layers of harmony. Who can I get for a third? And so I tried somebody else. Somebody else my cousin had, not sung with, but performed with. She was a singer. Didn't work. She was out of town or something. I said, well, you might want to try Jasmine Henry. That's the other one right there. That's the third jazz student for sure. Get her on board. And so then I was just planning out, negotiating with everybody. Okay, here's what is everyone on board with this? Okay, you take this layer just based on your voice by the video footage I'm seeing of you. Okay, you take this one, you take that one, high, low, mid, whatever. And then we're getting all that coordinated. In the meantime, Irvin records the guitar at home, and then so I can't get a functional bass in my house and do it. Well, just come over here. I got one. So he comes over to my house, records the bass, and then and then just gets to just recording the vocals, and of course that's where the real magic happens right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting up there with the phone, just like this, recording
Yeah.
like stank. I'm telling you, trying to contain myself, but it's just like, okay, let's try that again, try that again, try that again. Boom, okay, we got that. And then over the next little while, we had Jasmine came in, one taked it. Helen did her part, and then like by the end of the week, a little bit later, we had Anna come in after that, and boom, we just put that together. And it was quite a task, but I was willing to do it just to show that that's something else I can do, and I'm willing to venture into another sound and try something out. And here,
Mm-hmm.
and the result was fantastic. I mean, that's the most. I mentioned All She Wrote. That's the most popular episode on Facebook. That one right there is the most popular episode on Instagram. I still get likes for that every once in a while. Well, they might be bots or something. Not that I'm paying for, but the other thing is too, and this is what I got to give Irvin his credit because he gave me mine. So he obviously a remarkable talent, and part of the reason like he's taken off like he is because what the style of what he's doing is something that we didn't really see too much of in Winnipeg before.
Mm-hmm.
That old type of vintage sound, there wasn't really a niche for that unless you were in just like a church choir or something like that. And he brought that in and just he carved out his lane and just sped down that motherfucker at 100 miles an hour. And that's what he's still doing.
Yeah.
And he said he is more than happy to come on board. I'm thinking of getting him and Robert Andreas on to do some blues and take it to church next time and really just slow it
Yeah.
down and make something magical happen. But yeah, that's I give him credit. I mean, the kid's got a lot of potential, and he's young, and it would be great to also see him just proliferate beyond that initial lane that he's in, and try his hand at some other stuff, maybe some other genres, whatever he feels compelled to do down the road. But I'm more than happy to have him on and do some more work after that, man. So that's the
Yeah, for
dealio.
sure. What's the so I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit here. Right to the start of the episode and ask you the burning question from Ruth Morris. How do you pick who plays? How do you pick the people?
It's just a matter of just having a keen, attuned ear and just hearing a song that you like and just listening to it over and over again and then thinking like, I would love to cover this. And then you think of like, okay, is there anybody like right away? Is there anybody right away that like based on you seeing them, hearing them comes to mind, like boom, they would do like a very close rendition of this, or they would just do this really well. Because of course I try to get this dead balls on. And if I hear somebody like they would nail this, absolutely, I'm going to go out of my way to get them on board. And then the rest will be taken care of. And I can just assemble the personnel from there.
Mhm.
Well, Brandon and I'm going to say what the song is. So we just did this episode with Holly Davidson, who either is or was in the chat earlier. And
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
away, Brandon recommended me another song. It was a Bonnie Tyler song. I'll just leave it at that. A Bonnie Tyler song or a cover. Mine that Bonnie Tyler did. Something to that effect. He said, "You
Okay.
know what?
Yeah.
You should try this one." I'm like, "No, this is insane." Like it was just uncanny. Like Holly would nail this. So I just saw her at the Legion the other night. And I'm like, "Okay, what do you think of this? Boom, let's go ahead. Let's do it." So, yep, she's still here. You can attest to
There
exactly
you
what
go,
I'm
Holly.
saying. And so that will likely be the next thing that you see from the three of us. That's going to be happening. And it's going to be happening before November. There's a deadline there, and I can explain why that is at a later date, but it's for a very special reason, because some special people are potentially going to be seeing it on the same wavelength. Yes, indeed. That's been the whole gist of what I've been saying right here. But it comes down to, you hear something and you hear somebody who could really nail it and manifest it, and you just bring them on board. It's whoever is the closest person for the job. It's meritocracy.
I get it. Makes sense, right? Do you have any? Do you have someone you haven't had on yet that's like you're like, I gotta get this person?
There's a couple that I've been eyeing, and I've been talking to them before
Yeah.
about potentially doing some stuff. Two, I'll say right off the bat. Now, Adam Mateos from Spectre and Matt Corey. You know,
Oh
Matt Corey's a
yeah.
big Alice. Matt Corey's a huge Alice Cooper fan. I've done a few shows with
Yeah.
him out in Brandon, out in here. And we are, yes, still got this thing absolutely destroyed it. And yes, we are, I'm probably going to do something in that lane with him, because I did Alice Cooper years ago with Brandon doing a bed of nails, and we could go back to 80s Alice, 70s Alice, whatever you feel is compelled to do. We can make something like that happen. And then Adam Mateos, obviously you're going to get that high flying, soaring metal vocal type of stuff. Why not? And I got plenty of personnel who could do that. Maybe some of the Spectre guys and all that stuff. And once again, one more plug. I'll throw one more plug in there. Actually, two. May 24th, Bulldog, Sky Raid, Spectre, us at the Sky Raid EP release. Check that out. And also Guitar Night with us, Spectre. Well, yeah, it's the same lineup. Never mind. It's exactly the same lineup on there. June 21st, Guitar Night. We got some surprises for that. You're not going to want to miss that. That's at Osborne Tap House. But back to the story. Yeah, Adam Mateos is somebody else that I'm looking to potentially get on board. But, Spectre's a pretty busy band. And the last time that I was asking, they were in the middle of recording that first record or EP or whatever they were doing, the Armageddon EP. So
yeah.
we can definitely reconnect and see what we can do there, but that's essentially what the deal is with that. Those are two people that I'm looking forward to getting. And as I mentioned earlier, Brandon Howell, Mr. Brandon is right there in the chat. He was looking, and I recommended, and he's definitely putting in the work more than I currently am at the moment, to get Soundoff Presley on board, because I've seen him many times, and Brandon seems to take quite an interest in him and get him on for some little hippie rock psychedelic type stuff. Because truth be told, we haven't covered a single song from the 60s in the entire series. 50s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Not a single song from the 60s. And he would be perfect to do that. You could even get Emily Eleanor on that motherfucker. Just whatever once again, it's just whatever the song calls for. Adam covers some old Iron Maiden. I was trying to get him to do How Will Be Thy Name the first time around. Still could, or something in that wheelhouse, either that or Priest. It just depends on whatever he wants to do. But I definitely intend to make that happen. But so yeah, there's three. One you're probably going to see soon is Soundoff Presley. That's one you're going to probably going to see in a bit. Trent Thornton actually asked me to come on, asked to come on for one in particular. Yep, Scott Bowers from West Virginia, he's in there. Oh, Vanilla Fudge? Yeah, well, I was actually thinking a Cactus song, maybe Parchment Farm, something like that. So we got options. Is what I'm saying, and there's going to be a lot coming. So yeah, like I said, Trent Thornton, Kingsway, their new album just came out. Check it out.
Yep.
He had a particular song in mind that he wanted to do. It was right after the Irvin cover. He asked me when's the next one coming on. I want to do this. Ain't nobody gonna do it better than me. I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do. We'll put something together. Taylor Morgan, you're gonna see soon. Rusty, you'll probably see soon. Well, no, actually, you know Rusty, you're gonna see soon, because you know what I'm talking about. You might have been involved in a little something. I ain't gonna say too much, but there's that. And then who's the other? Oh yeah, Deidre. She was in here earlier. Deidre from Suburban Funk
Mm-hmm.
Machine. We were talking the other day, and I do plan to get her on board. So yeah, you're going to see some epic things. And then actually Curtis Rhodes, who was on the cover of Rusty You Saw, All We Are, that was his idea.
Mm-hmm.
He has another one that he's planning to do with Graham Downey from Sky Raid, and I need to get to that soon. So there's a lot of things in the works. Rusty will be back absolutely sooner than you think.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
you just like a all-star lineup of people who have been on these. You talk about the Winnipeg music scene and almost anyone you bring up. There's some newcomers. I love Kingsway. They're one of my favorite live bands right now.
Yeah.
That's gonna be phenomenal with Trent coming on there. Yeah, no, just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep talking about Brandon Howell. Brandon, thanks for tuning in to watch. I know that it's probably your first time watching this, but Brandon is not a Winnipegger. So let's get to that. Matt, you're traveling. Where are you going?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, and I would gladly have him on. I've had him on for a couple of interviews related to Clapper season before, but the thing is, even though apparently we are expanding, the program is Peg City Soundoff. Not only is he not from Winnipeg, he's not even a Canadian. He's for the United States, specifically New Martinsville, West Virginia. And I recently
Mm.
announced that Rusty's going to be back on. And I recently announced, since I mentioned earlier when I was discussing the origin story, that we have quite an exceptional buzz, allegedly, possibly in the hundreds of people watching out there in that little pocket by the river. A West Virginia mountaineer, yes, indeed. And out in that little pocket, there's a whole bunch of people watching out there, a whole bunch of people paying attention. So I'd been thinking about this, talking about this with Brandon for a few years, and then I just eventually said, screw it, I'm going to do it. Got my flight tickets, rental car, and then the hotel, all that stuff. My passport just came in the mail, my new one, and I decided, screw it, I'm going down there. So I am going to be in New Martinsville, West Virginia, from August 4th to August 8th. I wanted to do it right after the Summerfest, but this just worked out a little better. I can wait a couple weeks. It's all right. It's still going to be hotter than hell out there. It's still going to be hotter than hell out there, man. Out there in the mountains. An honorary mountaineer. Yep, 21st century John Denver. You don't even know, but here's the thing, right? And before I continue, an honorary mountaineer. May I point out just a fun fact, West Virginia, that most people don't know. So if you saw my announcement video, there's a little thing where I played Sweet Caroline at the end of the video. It said there's a song that people in West Virginia are going to know. College football is obviously a huge thing in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that the West Virginia Mountaineer crowd likes to do in their ongoing rivalry with Pittsburgh, is when you get to the da da da, the Sweet Caroline, the crowd interjects, "Eat shit, Pitt! Good times never feel so good. Eat shit, eat shit!" And you can look up videos of this on YouTube. The noise is deafening with Mountaineer fans just chanting that shit. And that's what I was saying when I just cut the video off just to be smart ass. Like, what you thought I was going to do? Country Roads? No, I know about the real unofficial state anthem, but yeah, I'm going out there. And as soon as I did, and I tagged a few people in, the phone's been ringing off the hook over there in Brandon's End. People were buzzing about this. I got a whole bunch of people in my comments saying, "Man, I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to have you out there." There's one guy apparently lives in Columbus, Ohio, which is 4 hours west of there, and he's almost willing to drive the whole damn way over to New Martinsville just to come jam. We're going to do a lot of jamming and all kinds of fun stuff, and could potentially be doing something out there at the Kraken Record store. Shout out to Ryan Schiffman. He's been stocking Ashley Arsonist records, and he's going to be stocking copies of Burn pretty soon. And you're going to see a promo courtesy of Brandon and related to that this week. So we got some good things happening, and we're going to make something happen where everybody can come in and we'll just have a fun old time from Wheeling to Sistersville back down and do all we can do,
Awesome. Yeah, I saw there was some buzz there after you made your announcement there. That's awesome. Kraken Records, you promoted them a little bit with Arsonist. They've had some of your products down there.
Yes, cool. and yep, and I will say I will give this recommendation: Kraken, Kraken Records in New Martinsville, West Virginia. Hit them up. Hit up Ryan Shiflett. This is for anybody, any of you guys in Winnipeg. It's an independent mom and pop record store. Any unit you sell, you're going to get the money back 100% from those guys over there, from Ryan and Kim. So I would strongly suggest, and I might just bring a list of Winnipeg musicians and artists and bands with their socials down to them, that if you're looking to making a venture into the U.S. market, even though it's a little small town, you still got Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Cleveland right near there, just a few hours away. Then consider shipping a few records down there and seeing what you can do, and he might just put them on the shelves for you. So I'm starting it off, and then we'll see what we can make happen. And even beyond this, I mean, this trip is already looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. And who knows, maybe it becomes a yearly tradition, and maybe I bring a few you guys down. I mean, whoever's got the money, whoever's got a passport, whoever's got the time, and whoever cares to go. It's not a junket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not paying for your airfare or your hotels. I only got so much money myself. But I'm sure, like, we're trying to expand the relationship between the two places, the Winnipeg to West Virginia pipeline. And we'll see who else we can bring down there. Because I see Ronnie in the comments out there giving Brandon his flowers. He might be one guy who might bring down there. Rusty might be another. Just whoever wants to come down. I mean, not this time. I'm going myself, but maybe in the future. We'll just see how this first time goes. But I'm certainly looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great summer between that and July 12th. Obviously, that's going to be a fun old time. So I'm looking forward to a lot of things coming up.
For sure. You know, there's a lot going on with Peg City Soundoff. There will be another announcement tomorrow about something else, but we're making some waves over here. We're gonna end this year with a bang, and but you know, kind of what I wanted to get to next with you know, kind of what I do with trying to promote the Winnipeg scene and stuff. Well, I'm doing so much on this end to make it work. But with your collab season, you're putting a lot of people on the map too. And you know, I got to go back to Irvin Miller. I didn't know who he was, and then I saw that, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit! And then I actually had Irvin on the show right after that.
Yeah.
I had to talk to this guy, get a read of him, right? And yeah, I didn't know this young guy had come out from out east there, and he's just making waves. You know, he's everywhere. You see his name everywhere now. But
deservedly, yes,
that was
absolutely.
That was just one of those things, though. You put him on there, and just for myself, and I'm sure there may have been others who weren't sure who he was, and then saw that, and it's like, oh my god! Because what I took out of it, I was so excited to see Anna, because Anna's one of my favorite female vocalists. Like, my god, we are actually playing with Sunbreather on Tuesday at Side Stage.
Yeah.
Everybody
go check that out.
Show. Everyone,
and
go
also,
to that show. That's
if you want tickets, to Summerfest, go see this man. Go see him at the merch table. Because he was saying that.
We'll have him.
Yep. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's just one of those things where I've noticed people through there, and I'll even go back as far as seeing Rusty. The first time I saw her on, and I don't know what song it was. It was by
All We Are, Warlock.
Yeah, Warlock. There we go. So I saw her on there. Cool. And then all of a sudden I see Rusty as part of some other band, and I see her around and saw she was with I saw clips of her at Bulldog with Starry Eyes, and then I went and saw the Lovers when they played the Tap House. Yeah, and then I met her at Tap House, and then what happens? She comes on the show, right? So there's a little bit of a connection here to the collab season and Peg City Soundoff. There's you know, I've discovered people through it. And then they come on the show, and we usually talk about it. And I couldn't tell you how many times your name has come up, whether it be collab season or Ashley the Arsonist or just yourself. Right. I don't know if you saw this, but last Wednesday, I had Y on, and I mentioned Ashley the Arsonist, and Brian Cook said, "What a phenomenal last release they had out here." And but it's just this Winnipeg, this intermingling in Winnipeg where one thing leads to another, and you can discover someone so easily. You know, you mentioned about Irvin with Times Changed and Jen taking you out there, right? And it's just such a cool thing, and this is sometimes what it takes is multiple people involved introducing to each other, and I got to thank you. I've had a couple that I've been introduced to on the collab season that I've had on, so
Yeah,
it's
and
awesome.
let me just take it back for a little bit, and I appreciate that. So I will never. First of all, I'll just say one thing: I will never take credit for like I made anybody's career or put them on the map. I mean, there's a lot of
Hmm.
moving parts, and Irvin's getting there on his own merits. I know Trav and Chris are doing some stuff to get him further along for content and stuff like that.
Hmm.
You know, I'm just doing my own little fun thing that I'm doing over here. Say, hey, maybe you want to come do this, and boom, if it did that magic for you, did that magic. But I'm gonna say a couple things here. So, oh shit. Well, oh yeah. First off, yeah. Peg City Sound Off and Collabo Season, there being a bit of a link there. There's going to be more of a mesh than you think pretty soon because you and Eric were actually on an episode pretty recently, and people will see that soon enough. So you have some insight as to
Hmm.
how the process goes in my own
Yeah.
studio, in my own environment. So that's something else we could discuss. But let me before we get to the closing remarks, whatever else we're going to do. Since Brendan's
Hmm.
in there, he left a comment. He said, just from West Virginia alone, we've had some great musicians from Collabo Season. Tammy Jo Whitlatch and Larry Truex, both members of Brandon's current band, Tammy Jo and Iron Horse. They do like 90s country and all that stuff down the valley. Sean Potts, who we're going to have back on doing Smalley Hatchet or what have you. Scott Bowers, Renee Truex. You also forgot to mention Craig Surface and Barb Cecil Berkheimer, who's been on a couple episodes. Black Velvet, the first Atlanta Miles cover, most popular YouTube episode to date. And she also did Renegade by Styx, which also had Scott on it. And that was a couple years ago now. So, I mean, there's plenty on the other end. Like West Virginia people, definitely follow this program, follow Joel, and check out as much of the YouTube, much of the Winnipeg music as you can, whether it be like through my conduit with Collabo Season or what he's got going on, because we got a lot of talent up here. Don't just pay attention to me. And when Winnipeg people, take attention to the people out there in West Virginia. There's a lot of stuff going on down there, just in that wee little pocket right there down by the river. There's great music everywhere if you're willing to look for it, and that's what I'm trying to do is just bring everyone together, put the BS to the side, and just shut up and jam and play some great tunes, man, and just do what we can do. And whoever's the best person for the job is the best person for the job. That's what it comes down to.
Hmm. What an unlikely duo, Winnipeg and West Virginia.
Virginia. Yep. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things
Yeah,
have happened.
unbelievable. But you know what?
Yeah, yeah.
This is fantastic. And Brandon, you know, the episodes I've seen with you in there, you're killing it. You're a phenomenal guitarist. You know, maybe you got to come up to Winnipeg sometime and check out our venues.
Well, I will make the first volley, and maybe at some point he returns that volley in kind. But I
Eh,
tend to go down there and just check the temperature and see how people are reacting. But so far, there seems to be a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz, which is great.
Yeah, for sure.
Not that in the water
So
here in West Virginia we got a lot of musicians. Well, our water is dirty as shit up here in Winnipeg, so I don't know what's going on there, but it's produced some good stuff. I'll tell you that. Go ahead.
um, no, gonna say before we get to closing remarks, you know, you just mentioned with that me and Eric, we jumped on with one with you just recently, and and just the way everything was done, it was just awesome. And we still talk about it. We talked about it the other day actually. The you know, just how it all worked out. It was very simple, but
Yeah.
you mentioned before keeping it as close to the original as you can, and being right in that
Correct.
wheelhouse with it, right?
Mhm.
And that's something that, you know, anyone who's seen Valley Narrow, my band, with our covers, we do stray a little bit to make it our own, and I find that I
And there's
do
nothing
that
wrong
quite a
with
bit
that.
with things. And but coming to your place, the ending part of the solo, I had just tweaked it a little bit, and you were very vocal with me about making sure it was do, and you helped me through that, and I hope it worked out great. I can't wait to see the video. Eric, actually, we had practice day, and Eric mentioned it again. He said, "I hope everything was good on my end, but you were great. You know you instructed how you wanted it done, and everything was
Yeah.
awesome. The lighting, the recording, everything was cool. We had a great time.
Yeah, it
You
was a
know,
fun afternoon.
really
And
looking
I'll say
forward
this.
to it.
Yep. And I'll say this, Eric. Don't doubt yourself. You did do a great job. I brought you on for a reason. It's specifically the reason that I mentioned earlier when you were asking, well, how do you select people? I heard a little bit of Gord Downey in that boy. And that's why I brought him on board. So like I could cover the city in color. I could do that part. Oh shit. I think I might have blown the cover of what it is. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's okay.
I hope there's
They'll
certain
never
somebody
know.
isn't watching right now. But
They'll never know.
yeah, it's sleeping sickness. Anyway, that's the first time I'm going to put that out there. I might as well say it, but yeah, he did his part. He did his part according to it. I just, and he did great. I'm just going to say that he did great, and that's
Yeah.
all there is to say. And you certainly did your thing there, and hopefully I didn't stress it too hard. I always try
Oh
to strike
God,
a
no, not at
balance
all. It was
between
great.
it's got to be accurate, but like within reason. And I'm not going to bust your balls too much, but I just really just want
Yep.
to make sure that it's good. Just kill them with kindness, that type of thing. And it's gonna
Exactly, right?
all work out, all gonna work out in the end, man. When that comes out, it comes out, and people are gonna love it.
Yeah, for sure, right? So you know as well as I do, as this is your fifth or sixth time being on a show with me. You know how it's done around here. Closing remarks. I don't do it. You do it. You give me the closing remarks. What does Matt Derraugh want to end with tonight?
Okay, how many minutes we got left? Okay, never mind. So, oh, it's good to see Jen stuck around this whole time, or maybe she just came back. So yeah, Collabo season. If you want to follow Collabo season, we're doing it on like a bi-weekly basis or whatever right now. You can always catch the episodes on Facebook. You can always catch them on Instagram. You can always catch them on YouTube. My profiles are
Mm-hmm.
where they're at. You already know Matt Derraugh on Instagram, Matt Derraugh on Facebook. I'm also on a whole bunch of other socials besides that. But when it comes to Collabo season, those are the main ones. And then YouTube, you can go look on Matt Derraugh Music. That's my YouTube channel. And I actually have a playlist right there. If you scroll down, that has all the Collabo season episodes there. If you notice some are missing on YouTube, for the most part, it's because I went back and realized, man, it wasn't really my best work, and I have some very prominent artists who have actually given accolades and what have you, as I've mentioned. So I just wanted to make sure that I was giving my best impression. And one was so good, as a matter of fact. The only one that is legit missing because of a copyright strike, a copyright removal, is I can't tell you why, by the Eagles. Brandon and Tammy and Larry and I did that back in October of 2023, I believe. Yeah, October 2023. And Don Henley is a real cocksucker about it. And everyone who tries to cover the Eagles knows this. He has people on board just scouring the internet to just scorch or take anything down that you didn't pay for a license for, which there's no way you're going to be able to get that. Let's be realistic. But yeah,
Yeah.
they blocked it on Facebook and Instagram for about a week, muted the audio. And as soon as I got that, I was like, okay, everybody go watch on YouTube. As soon as I got the audio back, they nuked it on YouTube. Oh yeah, Scott Bowers was on it too. We had the whole West Virginia gang on there. But yeah, I didn't even contest trying to get that one back. If you're enough of a psychopath, you're going to scroll back to like a year and a half, 2 years to go find that episode on Facebook or Instagram. It's there, and I think the audio. I don't know whether the audio is there or whatever, but I can send you a link. I can send you a link. Scott Bowers was on that too. Yes, indeed. But yeah, basically that's where you can follow Collabo season, and we're just trying to see what we can do. The main goal of it right now, besides getting 10K views on Facebook, and I don't know what a good metric would be on Instagram, maybe 5, because we damn near got to like 2,700, 2,800 views just on the urban one alone, damn near 3. And we could potentially be doing that. But I think the biggest goal, as I mentioned, like Mark LaBelle, Dirty Honey, seen it in person. A couple other, like one guy, I think 1 or 2 guys from Kiss, I think I've seen some covers in person. There's plenty of people who have been shown that. Thanks to Dick Reincars for that. Yeah, we'll leave that comment alone. We ain't gonna get into the Eagles here. I'm just saying, like that's just the whole aspect of it. But yeah, my main goal essentially with this is to get the original artist to share it on their page. One of these times we're gonna get paid dirt. You just got to keep going. Don't quit. Keep going. You're gonna get there. And that's my attitude, and that's what I'm planning to do from Winnipeg to West Virginia, all over the world. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Great talk tonight. I'm just gonna leave you
Yeah,
with one
stretch
thing
it
that
out. We're
maybe has
almost at an
nothing.
hour. Hold on. Wait 20
We're
more seconds.
almost.
We're almost there. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave you with something. I don't know if a lot of people know. This actually has nothing to do with collab season, but sorry.
Go ahead.
But this Thursday will be a first. I will be on location at the Big A in St. James. I'm gonna be live. It could go 4 hours. It starts at 8. It ends at midnight. Prairie Moon is playing. It's a musicians and friends gig. So anyone
Oh
watching
yeah.
this, if you got nothing going on Thursday, Sid from Musicians and Friends is putting on this event with Fred of Prairie Moon, Neil Young tribute group. They're playing the Big A. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna take my
Yep.
gear down there, and we're gonna go live from there. So if you're around, check it out. It's a busy week.
I'll
The
probably have nothing
Rev.
to do on Thursday. I will probably have nothing to do
There
on
we go.
Thursday. So
There we
I'll
go.
probably come down. I'll probably come down there and check it out. And by the way, yeah, shout out to Sid because he always shares the stuff in Musicians and Friends. And also shout out to Joanne Parisian,
Yes.
however you say your last name, excuse me.
Yeah.
She always shares the stuff in Jigtown Jammers. Knows my
Yeah.
mom very well. Used to work with her. That's where the connection comes from there.
There you
But
go.
is there a cover for that Big A thing? Like $5, $10, something like that?
No, it's free. Free admission.
Okay. Yeah. Bet. I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah, it's
Right.
amazing. So be live from there, talking to people coming through. Anyone who wants to come tell me a cool music story of their past, Matt, I'm sure you got some. Thomas Henry will be there. Thomas Henry, that's gonna be cool because Thomas Henry is now kind of part of this. Well, I should say kind of. Sorry, Thomas, you are part of what is going on now. He's gonna be
Yeah, he's part
doing
of the team.
some
Way to go.
crazy things, and he's got something big coming in. And I don't know if we're ready for it, but he's gonna unleash it later this year. But
Good.
and then look for some cool shit to happen tomorrow. I got another announcement to make. May or may not have something to do with someone who may have just commented. um, but here we are with Matt. We were talking collabo season tonight. Huge, just a huge thing going on for you. I look forward to them. You share them. You get the name out there, and it's such an awesome thing you're doing, and people absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But you got
Thank
to
you.
get Matt Corey on soon.
No. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I'll leave you this with the Matt Corey. I saw him at the Bush show. He was in the front row there. There was maybe 30 people on the floor when we got there, and I was talking to him, and I don't know what was said, but we said something about collab season, and he said how he sees it pop up all the time. So super cool. I'm sure he's down for it. So
Well, part of
yeah,
it's because I
there
tag
we
him
are.
and fucking everybody else every time that I do something. So yeah, you can't
Exactly.
help
It's
it.
good.
If you're on my friends list, you're gonna get tagged, probably, most likely. But
For sure.
you
And
can't
just one more
everywhere. Go ahead.
one more thing. I'm just gonna say, this has been a great episode. We've gone an hour. This is a big week for Peg City Soundoff coming up. Actually, a big 2 weeks. We knew this was going to go an hour. I knew you had a lot to say about this, and I really want to dig down and get right from the start to where you are now. So we've got that. I will be taking the week off now, besides the Thursday thing. I will be taking the week off. I got 3 gigs this week. I got Tuesday. We got 2 on Saturday. Terry Ferguson, Car 287 just chimed in. See you at Tabos. See you at the Tapo Saturday. I believe you guys are playing the same night. That is a damn shame. But we got 3 gigs this week. But next week, the week after, I'm back with 2 mega shows. We got
Okay.
90s night on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
We talked to some people about 90s music, what we listened to growing up. Do we still listen to it? Of course we listen to it still.
Are you getting
And
the guys from the '90s tribute, like Joe and Alex and all them guys, or is it just like
I'm
other
not
people
sure
like
who's
Jen?
going to be jumping on it. I got some people. I know Deidre Boris is coming on. Ruth Morris is coming
Oh
on.
yeah.
Some
Oh yeah.
people from the Nooners and Toy Son are coming on. Some of the boys from Saints and Rogues are coming on.
Nice.
But
Shout out to Phil.
probably one of the biggest, yeah, Phil for sure. Probably one of the biggest episodes coming up. It's gonna probably be a 3-hour episode, but I got Women of Manitoba Music Night coming up next. No, not next Thursday. The Thursday after. It's so big. I have to go longer because I can only facilitate so many people at once, and I
So
have
Jen and
more
Ruth
than
will
I
be
can
on that?
facilitate. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
freaking
Definitely go
lineup.
check that episode out. Jen, that's our
Yeah,
producer, Jen. In us from the long
Yeah,
haul.
she will. She's on hour 2. Hour 2 is awesome. Hour 1 is awesome. Hour 3 is going to be awesome. So just wanted to kind of say that just while we still have some viewers, to make sure you tune in for these 2 shows coming up. We knew this one was going to be a big one. We know the next one will. We know the one after will be big. Musicians and friends. It's going to be a live thing. Come by. Who knows? Just come talk to me. I just want to talk to people on a Thursday night. I'm not going to work on Friday. I took the day off. I needed a break. But awesome talking with you tonight, Matt. That was a lot of fun. I loved having you on here. You're just awesome to have on. You keep a good conversation going. Love what you're doing with collab season. Everyone does. We had a ton of messages in there tonight. And thanks, Brandon, for tuning in from West Virginia. Super cool. Anyone else who is from West Virginia, super cool to have you on. And continue watching, because you'll see Matt on here again, I'm sure, sometime.
Oh, you bet. I'll be brainstorming
Yeah.
ideas. Maybe like,
Right
you know
on.
what? How about this? I might just, maybe the next one that I do is like right after I get back from West Virginia, I come in here and just do like a recap of that, or something like, or unless something else happens with the arsonist that's major between here and there, maybe that's what we do. But we don't have to burn that bridge right now. That's
Well,
just an idea.
you'll probably have something happen between here and there. It's arsonist or something always going
Of
on with
course,
you
yes.
guys.
We just shot a music video. You'll see something
Yeah.
pretty soon. So.
But you know what? Watch for Collabo season part 2 with Matt when he gets back from West Virginia. We're gonna have you back on. We're gonna hear all about West Virginia. Everyone's looking forward to it.
We're doing that.
We'll do it. All right.
You know what? Hold on a second. Let me look. Let me look right now. It's something. Okay, so I'm there from the 4th to the 8th, and then maybe let's say August 10th, maybe on the Sunday. Maybe we have a recap because we'll be back by that point. Maybe.
Perfect.
Okay,
let's
done.
line it up. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Have a good rest of your night. We've went an hour and 7 minutes. Amazing.
Yes.
See you Thursday, later, buddy.
Probably, yes.
You know what? Don't jump off. I'm going to cut the live feed. I got to tell you something when we get off here. All right? Okay. All right, cool. Thank you to